Mom, I really want to go to the theme park. All of a sudden, as I was washing the dishes at home, my daughter Michelle started to express her desires. The theme park is quite a trek, especially on a holiday. I feel a significant unease about managing my daughter all by myself. Despite my guilt, I stroked her head and gently tried to calm her. We'll go to the theme park another time, okay? When Daddy's here, okay? But why? It's not fair if only Daddy gets to go to the theme park. Huh? But Daddy's at work, isn't he? No, he's not. Angrily, Michelle took something out of her bag and showed me. Look, see? Suddenly, a surprising truth was revealed. My name is Julie, a 35-year-old woman working as a management consultant at a financial firm. Basically, my job involves providing advice. I carefully analyze and assess the health of a company's management, offering strategies to reinforce its structure and devise future management policies. Depending on the client's need, I suggest not just management strategies, but also investments in facilities. If required, I also took into matters of salary and staff. While there aren't any specific qualifications required, it's quite an intense job. Due to the nature of the role, my schedule is packed. I have weekends and holidays off, but my weekdays are filled with constant brainstorming and no time to relax. If a junior employee makes a mistake, I have to go apologize. And if someone leaves unexpectedly, I have to step in and manage another company's consultation. Lately, I've been so swamped that I've been skipping lunch breaks to focus on work. Nevertheless, the reason I keep going is my loving family. My husband, Larry, and our daughter, Michelle. Thanks to them, no matter how tough things get, I can keep pushing. Even after a long day when I return home, my sweet little girl always rushes into my arms. Mom, you're back! Hey, sweetie. Sorry I'm late. That's okay. Look, Daddy made burgers for dinner. Michelle showed me a picture on her toy smartphone, a recent favorite of hers. This toy is no joke. It can actually take photos. Although it can't record videos, it can record the surrounding sounds when a button is pressed. The quality of the pictures and sound isn't great, but for a toy, it's quite impressive. And she showed me the pictures of those tasty-looking burgers. Wow, that looks tasty. Did Daddy make this? No, we grabbed it from the supermarket on our way home from daycare. Oh, I see. But I helped Daddy make the salad. That's fantastic, Michelle. You're such a big helper. When I entered the living room, Larry had just finished setting the table. The enticing aroma made my stomach growl. Wow, this looks so good. As I tried to sit down, he intervened.
Julie, don't forget to wash your hands first.
Oh, sorry. The food just looked so tempting.
The burger is store-bought, but Michelle and I prepared the soup and salad. She looks pretty hungry too, so hurry and wash your hands.
My bad, my bad. I'll be right back. After washing my hands, I returned to the living room and quickly sat down with my husband and daughter who were already seated.
Let's dig in.
The three of us exclaimed as we gathered around the dinner table. This is always my favorite moment. Mom, guess what? Today, Mia and I drew pictures together. She was excited to share her day with me. She's been in daycare since she was 1, and it seems like she's maturing quickly from the interactions she has with her peers. Is that so? That's wonderful. You do enjoy drawing, don't you, sweetie? Yeah, and guess what? Mia drew a picture of a Ferris wheel. A Ferris wheel? Yeah, she said her family went there on their last day off. That sounds like fun. How about we plan a trip to the theme park too? Really? Can we? Our daughter cherishes family outings, and we frequently spend time together, including an annual family vacation. However, my recent workload has been heavy, leaving me too exhausted to venture out on my days off. Or the timing doesn't work out because Larry has to work on his days off. But I can't promise her something I can't deliver. Later that night, after tucking Michelle into bed, I decided to bring up the subject with my husband. Larry, about that conversation earlier.
The one about the theme park?
Yes, exactly. Michelle is excited about going too. Can't we figure out a time when we can all go together?
I've been swamped recently, and it turns out I have to work this coming Sunday too.
I see. Larry, you've been burning the candle at both ends lately. Are you holding up okay?
I'm all good, really. Unlike you, Julie, I don't get bogged down with work during the week.
He answered with a grin, but I couldn't help but worry. Indeed, as he said, he's usually the one back home before me on weekdays. Most of the time, he's the one dropping off and picking up our daughter from daycare. I seldom have the chance to pick her up. He rarely brings work back home, and he enjoys his dinner like normal. He idles on his phone, watches some TV, or uses his computer, then heads off to sleep. By his account, it's unlikely that he's inundated with work. So what gives? Why does he need to work on his days off? Instead of dedicating a whole day to work on his day off, it would make more sense to do a little overtime during the weekdays. It might just be my perspective, but there's something about his words and actions that doesn't add up. Even if he's working on a day off, it's not supposed to be obligatory. I tried to bring up the topic once more for our daughter's sake. What about next week? If this week is a bust, we haven't had a family day out in a while.
I'm sorry. I think I've got plans next week too.
Plans? Separate from working on your day off?
I've been hitting it off with my colleagues. We've been talking about a camping trip together.
Camping? It doesn't have to be next week.
Well, it depends on everyone's schedules, right? Anyway, nothing's set in stone yet, and it'd be a shame to get Michelle's hopes up. Let's do it some other time.
Yeah. His points aren't wrong. It's better not to make promises at all than to half-heartedly raise hopes and then fail to deliver. But as a mother, I naturally want to create many family memories for our daughter. That day, the conversation came to a halt when Larry turned in before me. I'll try broaching the topic again at another time, I thought as I drifted off to sleep. Fast forward a month, over the weekend, Larry was constantly out of the house. 2 weeks were dedicated to working on his days off, while the other 2 were spent camping and golfing with his colleagues. He often comes home after 11 p.m. Michelle is fast asleep by then, and I'm usually half asleep while waiting for him. Welcome back. Do you want some dinner? I asked my husband, rubbing the sleep from my eyes. Each time his response came in a somewhat frosty tone.
Nah, I'm good. I already ate. And besides, you don't need to stay up for me.
Huh? But
when I get home all tired and you're still awake, I feel like I need to entertain you. So I'd appreciate it if you could just go to sleep.
I see. Sorry. But I just wanted to chat for a moment.
We're not honeymooners anymore. We don't need that. You have work tomorrow as well. You should hit the sack early.
Alright. Good night. By the time I finished talking, he was already engrossed in his phone. There was no response to my good night, and I turned in feeling a sense of loneliness. One day, as I was reading a picture book to Michelle, she chimed in with a tiny voice. Mom! I closed the book, interrupting the reading, and responded warmly. What is it, sweetie? Mia went to the aquarium with her family the other day, and Luna mentioned that she went to a theme park. Oh, really? You want to go too, don't you? Yeah, I want to go to the theme park with you and Dad. I know, sweetie. I'll be sure to ask your dad. Really? Promise? You really promise? I nodded at her, who was visibly excited. I was genuinely happy to see her so eager to spend time with us. That night, I went to the bedroom where Larry was. He was already in bed, fiddling with his smartphone. "Hey, Larry, do you have a moment?" When I called out, he shot me a grumpy look.
What?
Larry responded irritably, so I gave it another shot. "You see, Michelle is really eager to go to the theme park. Can't we make it happen on your next day off?"
That's impossible on such short notice. We've already planned to work the weekends too. There's no way we can go to the theme park.
I know, but can't we figure something out? Michelle feels left out seeing her friends.
Don't be so pushy when I say it's impossible, it's impossible. We're working too, Julie. You should get where I'm coming from.
My usually calm husband raised his voice for the first time. I was so taken aback that I was at a loss for words. Why is he getting so upset when I merely asked him to take a day off for the family? Even Michelle is feeling left out because we can't have a family outing. We used to spend lots of time together as a family, but now we can't even take one day off. That's odd. I pleaded with him several more times, but he remained steadfast. I earnestly asked for our daughter's sake, but my pleas fell on deaf ears. But if I tell her honestly that her dad refused, she would be heartbroken. For now, I'll tell her that he's swamped with work and try broaching the subject again once things simmer down. A few days later on this day, Larry was working on his day off, and Michelle and I were at home. Perhaps she was worried about when we could visit the theme park. The moment Larry left, she started to play, but her expression seemed bored. "I'm sorry, Michelle," I muttered and reluctantly started the household chores. There's no point in moping around. All I can do now is what I'm capable of. After I finished vacuuming and moved to the kitchen, Michelle came darting towards me with a burst of energy. "Hey, Mom! I want to go to the theme park too!" Not today, sweetie. I want to go, I really want to go!" As I was washing the dishes, my daughter began to throw a fit. No matter how much time we have on a day off, the theme park is a long drive. I feel a little nervous about taking care of her there all by myself. But it's true, she's been asking to go for a while. But it's too much for me to take her alone. Feeling guilty, I gently patted her head to calm her down. "We'll go to the theme park another time, okay? When Daddy's here, okay?" "Why? It's not fair if only Daddy gets to go to the theme park." "Huh? But Daddy's at work, isn't he?" "No, he's not." Angrily, Michelle took something out of her bag and showed me. It was her toy smartphone. "Look, see?" She showed me the screen and played a voice recording.
It's tomorrow, right? I'm looking forward to it. I wonder when was the last time I went to a theme park. Of course, she hasn't found out. Let's have fun, just the two of us. You're the only one for me, Sophia. I love you.
That was unmistakably Larry's voice. It clearly sounded like he was speaking to his mistress, no matter how you listened to it. What on earth? How did Michelle get this conversation? I felt a jolt of shock. Keeping my panic in check, I maintained a calm facade and asked my daughter, "Sweetie, when did you record this?" "I was playing last night and accidentally hit the record button. I noticed it just now, so I played it back. When I listened to what I had recorded, I heard Daddy's voice." "I see. So this was recorded last night?" "Yeah. Hey, Mommy, who's Sophia? Is Daddy going to the theme park with another kid? That's not fair." "I'm so sorry, Michelle. Mommy will definitely take you to the theme park, okay? Can you wait a little longer? And can you lend me the recording you made?" "Okay, sure." She seemed disheartened, but handed me her toy smartphone. I played it again and recorded it on my own phone. This will serve as undeniable proof of his infidelity. With that in mind, I decided to search Larry's things while Michelle was napping. And then I found his tablet under the bed in our bedroom. He used to use his tablet frequently in the living room, but I hadn't seen it around lately. Suspicious, I cautiously tapped the screen. The device wasn't locked, so I was able to access it immediately. What? What is this? The background was a picture of him with a woman I didn't recognize. Upon checking the photos, it turned out that the picture was from 6 months ago. In other words, Larry has been having an affair for at least that long. Michelle and I have been betrayed by him since then. At that moment, a burning rage surged through me, like my blood was boiling. Maintaining the marriage for Michelle's sake was no longer an option. He was pretending to be working overtime, having an affair behind my back. Michelle has been holding out this entire time. It's just too much. I won't forgive him. No matter what, I'll make him and his mistress pay. I immediately called a locksmith. Hello, I'd like to change my locks, if possible, right now. Luckily, they didn't have any prior appointments and the locksmith arrived in about an hour. I had the front door lock changed so that the original key couldn't open it. Next, I contacted my parents, explained the situation, and arranged for them to look after Michelle. I decided to wait at home alone for Larry. A few hours later, the front door rattled. He must have realized that his key wasn't working after several attempts. Then a call came in on my phone.
Julie, I can't seem to get the house door open.
Oh, sorry. I'll open it now. As I opened the front door, there stood Larry, looking wary. I held up a hand to stop him from entering and stood firm.
What's going on?
He looked surprised as I confronted him head on. Do you want to sign the divorce papers right away, or do you want to take this to court?
Huh? Julie, what are you talking about?
I asked which one you prefer. Hurry up and answer, you cheater.
What?
He must have finally realized that I knew about his affair. His face turned pale and he started to shake. Thanks to Michelle, I found out about your affair. So all those overtimes were lies, weren't they?
No, that's not it. I did lie about working and I did have an affair, but it wasn't serious. It was just a fling.
Do you think I care about that? You dare to call it a fling after betraying your family?
Wait, just listen. I just wanted a little excitement. So please, anything but divorce.
The one who should be in trouble by a divorce is Larry. That's true. I earn significantly more, and this house is in my name. He had been living comfortably thanks to my income, but it's too late for regrets now. I'm finished with a man who can lie with ease and carry on an affair despite having a daughter. I pushed Larry roughly, causing him to fall flat on his backside. I glared down at him, fear in his eyes, and spat out coldly. I was a fool for falling for someone like you. I'm grateful that you gave me Michelle, but it's a shame for her to have a lowlife like you as a father, so I'll put an end to it.
Wait, please. I beg you, forgive me.
You're so pathetic. Do you even understand what you've done? You cheated and now you want forgiveness? You've lost the right to ask that. You betrayed your family. That's all that matters. If you understand, get out of here. Never show your ugly face again. I threw the boxes containing his possessions that I had packed earlier out onto the front lawn. Ignoring his outstretched hand, I slammed the front door shut. He pounded on the door for a while, but eventually he and his belongings were gone, under the watchful eyes of our neighbors. A few days later, the divorce was finalized with a lawyer present. Even Larry's parents had had enough and disowned him on the spot. The situation worsened when I sought damages from his mistress. After a significant dispute, the two reportedly split up quickly. In other words, my ex-husband lost all his support. Now he's living paycheck to paycheck, struggling to pay the alimony and child support. His living conditions have dramatically changed, and he's experiencing significant hardship. It's a fitting end for someone like him. On the other hand, the house feels too large for just me and Michelle, so I decided to invite my parents to move in with us. Now my mother and father have joined us, and the four of us are happily living together. We plan to visit the theme park we've always wanted to go to next Sunday. I'm sorry, sweetie. You won't be with your dad. Then she gave me a radiant smile. I don't care at all. I don't like Daddy who hurt Mommy. I'm much happier going with Grandma and Grandpa. Well, I'm glad to hear that. Let's have fun at the theme park. Yes! Even though Michelle is smiling, I know her heart must be aching. I want to shower her with as much love as possible to help soothe her pain.